Well, whether it's World War II or the Afghanistan conflict, we salute all of our veterans, all of those who are active in the military. And Donald Caine, when I see those World War II veterans with those American flags and showing their patriotism and their love for America, it makes you feel good.
It sure does. I spent several years in there. I retired from there, and of course we display that flag at our house. And when you see an American flag, and if I see one tore or ripped, I have contacted that business because, we need to display our flags.
Yeah.
It's an honor.
A big day today down at Sylacauga High School. Mm-hmm. I know you have, along with others, have been working very hard to make this successful with the 167 Infantry Battalion. And I know they honored a group of those yesterday in Talladega, and the honors continue today here in Sylacauga.
Yeah, Talladega is the headquarters section of the 1st and 167th. Sylacauga is a detachment from them, a sister company. So what they've done yesterday with Talladega is basically what they're going to do today for Sylacauga at the high school at 3:30. They're going to honor them, and after that at 3:30, around 4:30, they're going to go back to the Armory, and the church is feeding them. Golden Rule's feeding them, so we're going to have about 300 people there, hopefully, if not more.
Talk about, we've been talking about several drop-off points we have for supplies and stuff. How's that going?
Oh, that's gracious. I'll be honest with you. Marble City Pharmacy, my wife Ann and Danny Johnson, Sarah Honda, my sister Mary Lou, Huddle House, Doug. Now, Doug's not a drop-off point. He's a donator, so basically our drop-off points would be Sarah Honda, Fred's down there by Fort Williams, Scrubby Dubbies, Coosa Pine Federal Credit Union, Heritage South, and of course Marble City Pharmacy. Let me stress real quick, when Tony Coleman got with me the other day, he's going to give everybody a 15% discount on any detail, car wash, if you drop off at least a minimum of $5 bag in that drop-off point.
Right.
And so it's really been a good turnout.
I know you've been working closely with the Chamber of Commerce, and they have a list, as several entities do, of some of the supplies that are needed.
Yes. We've got a huge supply, and we've had a great turnout. Started yesterday, the day before yesterday, around 10 o'clock that morning, and about 8:30 that night, between my wife and myself, we finally got 81 bags filled, tied up, delivered yesterday to the Armory for each troop to have a care package to take with them, which they dispersed them yesterday. And some of the items that were brought to my attention once I got there, and which we had everything in there, some of the vital stuff they really need, and people don't realize this, is Q-tips. Q-tips are what they use to clean their weapons with. A lot of us use it to clean our kids' ears, our ears, but my son told me, he said, "Dad, we need Q-tips." Bunches of them, because when they get out there in the sand, and even though they're issued some little brushes, it's a constant thing of Q-tips, cleaning all those, because you don't want their weapons to get jammed in a situation like that. So when eye drops, and also one other thing, you go to these stores and you buy these little bitty packs of the little drink mixes, different kinds, grape, strawberry, lemonade. In a little box of them are $1 a box. In each box, there's 10 packages that you just pour in water, and they can pour it in their canteens. It hit me yesterday when I went in to buy a bottle of water at Exxon, $1.19. One box can actually give 10 soldiers a drink. Whereas $1.19, $1.29 that we spend for one drink, that would actually supply 10 soldiers, one pack a piece for them, which is, something we just take for granted that we don't think of. So alcohol pads, hand sanitizer, hand wipes especially, and we still need stamps and envelopes. I talked to several soldiers yesterday, one in particular that helped unload the stuff. He's a young guy from Alex City, just had a newborn baby, just got married not long ago. And I asked him, I said, of course, we dispersed stamps out. Jeff McGrady had bought a big roll of them. We had some more dropped off at Marble City Pharmacy in the box. I cut them up. I put them on envelopes. I stuck them in the care package, and I asked him, I said, "Do you have stamps?" He said, "Yes, sir, I got a few of them." But once they get to Mississippi, when they leave Saturday and they go to Mississippi, they're not going to have access to buy the stamps and envelopes. And then turn around, once they get deployed to Afghanistan within 6 weeks, they're not going to have them. So I want to get the people to actually, if they do donate them, you can take them to these drop-off points. I stress Marble City Pharmacy, Sarah, and they'll get them to me we get them cut up, and we put them in envelopes, and we send them to the commander, and they'll disperse them out to these guys. That way, you get over there and you want to write a letter, and they have nothing to mail them back with. Of course, we put pads and pens and all that stuff in there with them. My son told me, it's kind of ironic, he told me, he said, Dad, you know, it takes 2 weeks to get a letter back from Afghanistan. And I said, Lord. I said, I tell you what, son, kind of date it 10 days ahead of time. And by the time I get it, it looked like I got it 3 days later. So it takes a while to get it here. So they're going to constantly write letters before we can actually get them back to them. And they're going to need some type. And of course, this is an ongoing process. We're going to continue to do this until these guys come home.
Well, of course, if you looked at the news in the last 24 hours, especially this morning, Taliban attacked a hotel where there was a party going on, and troops, NATO troops and coalition forces went in and retook the hotel. But it is a violent country, and these guys that are going there now have never had a taste of this. It's going to be a challenge for them. We need to help them every way we can.
Yeah, we do. We need to, if you're a member of a church, a community, a business, contact the chamber. Call Carol or Ann at the chamber. They'll get in touch with us some way. We'll figure something out, because if they don't have our support, and the city has really gotten into this, and we really appreciate it, because we can't do everything. We got to have everybody's support in this and involvement. So, you know, if you're a member of a church, get with your pastor, your associate pastor, ask them to get a drop-off point, to get things there, the smallest things they need, you know, that we can help them on this side. Now, I got a phone call the other day from Amy Morris. She had called the chamber because she had seen all this. She got in touch with Ann. Ann called the pharmacy. The pharmacy called me. She's in Pell City. She's over the Federal Credit Union in Coosa Pines. Well, she's done this before. And when she come to my house the other night, drop off some stuff, it really didn't dawn on me. You know, I was thinking the other day, you know, I want to get these packages. I want to get it to these troops before they leave Saturday morning. Well, and she had mentioned that she's done this before in the past, and it's an ongoing process. And I was kind of like stunned, like, what do I do? You know, my son's leaving. You know, how do I continue to do this? So, Amy and I got together as far as being liaisons to each other. She's going to help coordinate this through the Coosa Pines Federal Credit Union. All their stores, or their branches, drop it off there. She's going to help coordinate this through Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, St. Patrick's Day, and everything. She's got this lined up, and basically that's helped us, that we can keep this thing going until these guys get back home and get home safely. We was talking about a while ago what the Taliban did. I was talking to my son again, and him and his wife were talking, and my son told me, he said they were outside at his mom's house listening to crickets and frogs and stuff like that. So she made a remark like, do they have these over there? You know, he said no. He said, well, we're not going to hear crickets and frogs. We're going to basically hear bombs and bullets. And that right there touches home. And we take stuff like that for granted. So, you know, whatever we can do here in town, and Jimmy, you've done really great by allowing us to come on and giving us this free airtime to actually get this out to the community. And we really appreciate this. We really do.
There's a move on to for the yellow ribbons in Sylacauga that's really taking foot too.
Oh yeah, I went yesterday and bought some for our house at Bows and Buttons.
Bows and Butts.
Bows and Buds,
Yep.
there you go. Okay, there's Buttons and Bows and Bows and Buds.
All of that stuff.
Okay, it's over behind Yoder's cabinet over close to the Social Security office. And our FRG president had just bought 42 of them for today. Well, my wife told me yesterday when I brought them in, she thought I paid $8 or $10. I said, no. I said, this lady's letting us have them for $5 a piece. Okay, they are selling them pretty expensive in town, but over there behind Yoder's, they're selling them for $5 a piece. Go out and get them, display them, put them in bushes like we did, flags, porches, all through town. And let the troops know that we're supporting them.
Big event this afternoon down at the high school. What's going to be taking place there?
Well, I'm going to be in there about 3 o'clock. They're going to open the school about 3 o'clock. We're going to display some balloons in there. Around 3:30, the troops are going to come in there. They're supposed to have some dignitaries. Hopefully we've got the government officials coming. And they're basically going to give them a short brief, 45 minute to an hour ceremony. Community comes out support. Everybody can come out there. It's an open door. And from there, about 4:30, give or take, we're going back to the Armory. Now the sanctuary's cooking. Bobby Davis and Johnny Dawson, them's cooking. Like I said, Golden Rule supplying the barbecue. And I found out yesterday through them that it's going to be about 300. They're going to try to feed about 300 people. You know, if we run out of food, I won't eat it. You know, if we got over 300, you know, me and my family will just back off. I'll go back to Huddle House and eat later on. But we want you guys to come out and support your troops and just be there. You may not know them, okay? But to see y'all there and let the troops know that the city's behind them and the community's behind them, that's going to boost them up, because when it comes to Saturday morning, that's going to hit home.
Can people bring their supplies with them, their donations with them to the high school, or do they just need to take them to the drop-off points?
Well, don't bring them to the high school, because it's going to be a rush thing. If you come to the Armory and you've got some stuff at the Armory, look me up, give them to me, I'll take care of them. If you can't get them there, of course, take them to one of the drop-off points, okay. and they'll make sure they get them to me.
Yeah. Donald Caine, our guest this morning, as yesterday the 167, I don't know how you say that. I know it's a 167 Battalion of the Alabama Army National Guard that was in Talladega. They honored them yesterday. I think there's about 200, 70 something here in Sylacauga?
There's 81. Now, when I talked to the first sergeant the other day, before I got the care package together, when something like this happens, you know, before they go on Title 10, which is federal government, before it's Title 32, which is state, you know, usually when you're on Title 32, you could ease out of the system, okay, and get a spank on the hand, get a bad discharge. But once you get on Title 10, you can't. So I was concerned about how many troops we did not have to show up. And so when I went up there and asked the first sergeant, and he texted me back later that day and actually had the whole unit of 81 troops. We were thinking 70, because you know you got a percentage that's just not going to show up. It says I'm not going. Well, honestly, every one of them showed up, and which was good, because it shows that our unit and our troops are, you know, they're eager to go, but yet they're scared. We're scared as, you know, as family members, but they got a job to do. And I went up there yesterday again, and after they ate, they were just kind of like, done got everything. The trucks done come, the transfer trucks done loaded all their stuff, done gone, and they were sitting around, and some were playing basketball and just relaxing. And the commander told them yesterday they're going to get rid of them today. Y'all go home, spend time with your family, and they're going back this morning, but they're not going to be there but like a couple hours. The commander and the first sergeant and them told them, Captain Hurd said, y'all go on after about 10 tomorrow. We're going to dismiss y'all, let you spend time with your family, report back to the high school. We're going to eat, because Saturday morning when we report, of course, we still want you there Saturday morning too. We don't know what time. They haven't told us the time, because it's a security reason. So Saturday morning, sometime that morning, they're going to get on buses and leave. You know, still come out Saturday. Bring your flags.
Operation Enduring Freedom, in support of that in Afghanistan. Our troops will be honored this afternoon and given a massive send-off, and we want you to be a part of that. And don't forget the drop-off points. Let's go over those again before we go.
The drop-off points will be Marble City Pharmacy, Sarah Honda, Fred's at Fort Williams out there, Scrubby Dubby's Car Wash, Coosa Pines Federal Credit Union, and Heritage South Federal Credit Union on 280. All the credit unions. I've got boxes. My wife and stepdaughter built the boxes yesterday. I have boxed out. I have built them. And we've run out of stuff to wrap them with, so if you see a box that's really not up to par, I'm going to regroup and redo them. I just got to get some boxes in there. If you don't see a box yet, get with the people. They've got a place to store the stuff until I get the boxes. Amy told me last year when I think it was Alex City that left, she said they were so overrun at their credit unions that they had to put them in storage before they can actually come and get them, that people were just bringing them by the truckloads to support that unit. If you think it's not vital, it is. Yeah. Every little thing that you can actually think of that you might think that they'll need over there, this is an ongoing thing, Jimmy. It's not just till they leave tomorrow. I'm going to take it to Mississippi around the 3rd or 4th of August and give it to the commander. They're going to put it in Connex or disperse it again. And even after that, once they hit boots on the ground in Afghanistan, they're going to need this stuff, because once they hit the desert, there's not a Fred's, there's not a Walmart out there, and they're going to run out quick, especially with Q-tips and eye drops for the sand, hard candy. That's little things to us, but it's very important to them. They need this stuff. It's nothing that we're trying to help them out with as far as sweet tooth or anything like that. They need this. I don't want my troops or my son to get out there and his weapon jams and we couldn't buy a little box of Q-tips, okay? Or them get thirsty and not buy a little dollar box of drink mix. I'm going to load up myself. Mary Lou, my sister, took $200 out of her account, and she went and bought gobs of stuff to actually finish filling up the care packages when I took them yesterday. We have people that wants to do it. Some people just don't know how. Call the chamber, call Ann at the chamber, call the pharmacy, call Carol Bates, and
Get involved.
Get involved.
Yeah.
Get involved.
All right. Don, thanks for being with us this morning.
I appreciate it, Debbie.
More on Daybreak in just a minute.